Hey, so my name is Tarang and I live in Wrocław, Poland. Welcome to the channel. 1 year ago, एक साल पहले, I covered this exact topic. There is a video. If you go to my YouTube channel, you can easily find this, Tarang Agrawal, here and then over here, this one. Why is nostrification mandatory for Poland? This is an hour-long video. It talks about all the details, everything that you need to know with this exact article. Now, the title is Only 37% of foreign students in Poland graduate. Government set to change rules. This was 4th of July 2024. Today it's 25/5/2025. So less than a year later, new laws have been introduced. Here is the official text of the law. I have translated it to Polish, to English actually. You can go to this link. This will be in the description of the video. And yeah. So first of all, let's very quickly discuss why this is the case. This is the case because in Poland, there is no upper limit to the number of students, or rather to the number of hours that a student can work. And because there is no upper limit, what often happens is that students come here and then they are like, okay, I have a job now. I will work at a random kebab shop, or I will work at a, let's say, restaurant. I will wash dishes, and I can wash dishes for 60 hours of my life because minimum wage is great, and I'm just going to do that. This is one of the reasons why this happens. Other reason is typically that I just came here and I don't want to go to classes because I want to go to, I don't know, Western Europe or Canada, States, whatever. So they never end up finishing the studies. The main reason was essentially no cap on the amount of hours a student can work, which is still the case, but there has been a lot of changes. And also, for example, there is information. For example, we can look here. This is an email that candidates from the University of Wrocław get. Starting from 1st of July, new rules are applicable. So let's just copy this so I can read to you everything that is happening. We'll go through this step by step. We'll look at various sources, and I will also talk about the Syrena system and what else is new. So let's just look at this. So here's a summary of the key updates. So this is the most important part. From now on, this is the case. Now, if you apply before July 1st, everything is still the same. That is, if you apply for a visa, not for the university. If you apply, you pay the tuition fee, you are accepted, and you apply for a visa before July 1st. Good for you. Everything is the same. There is no need for IELTS or any other English language certificate. But if you apply afterwards, there is a list of English language certificates that will be accepted, which is from IELTS anywhere 5.5, 6. 6 is the minimum, so I recommend at least 6.5. For TOEFL, it should be above 76. 76 to 90, I think, is the scale for this. Or you can take a Cambridge exam, you can take a Pearson exam, an exam from Duolingo. Is that going to work? No, that is not going to work. Once again, there are 4 of them essentially here. First one is IELTS. The second one is TOEFL. For IELTS, you need a minimum of 6.0, but I recommend a 6.5. This is if you apply after July 1st. An application involves paying the tuition fees, paying for the visa. The idea is if you apply for the visa before 1st of July, then you don't need any of this, any of the information I'm talking about. That is if you apply for the visa before. And applying for the visa meaning that everything else is covered. You have insurance, you have tuition fee, you have a recognition from Kuratorium University if you're applying for bachelor's. You don't need this recognition if you're applying for master's or PhD level studies. That is before July the 1st. We'll talk about it a bit more. So for this, you need anywhere between 72 to 90. And then there's the Cambridge exam, and then there is the Pearson exam that you can also take. So this is something that you need to know. And just a second, I'll quickly check something. Yes. Okay. So this is the first thing. This is the first update. Apart from this, some universities can have their own internal examinations. That depends from university to university. So you need to check with them. But from July 1st, you will need at least a minimum of like one of the exams, like the minimum scores I've written down. That's number one. The second update is the process of recognition of high school certificates. This is going to go through the NAWA Syrena. Don't worry if you have already done it. I will quickly also open the NAWA website. NAWA is the National Academic Exchange website of Poland. National Agency of Exchanges, academic exchanges. In English, this is okay. The logo is the same in every language. So, National Agency of Exchanges, academic exchanges, essentially. So here you can submit an application. We will quickly talk about it in a while. There will be timestamps below the video, so please follow them. So this will now go through NAWA Syrena. If let's say you apply on June 29 to Kuratorium Oświaty for your bachelor's degree studies, meaning you have done high school in India and then you applied to Kuratorium Oświaty in order to be able to study a bachelor's degree in Poland on June 29, no problem. They will still process it and it's okay. But if you apply on July 1st, it's going to be invalid. From July 1st, you have to apply through this system, the Syrena system of NAWA. Here I can quickly show you how much money they have received. This National Agency for Academic Exchange has received 56 million zlotys so that they are able to do this process easily. Still, initially they are saying that it's going to take about, not on this page, we will go there in a second. They say that it's going to take at least 60 days. So be prepared. If you apply July 1st, August 1st, September 1st, you will get this recognition. And after you get this recognition, you will be able to apply for a visa, which is quite unfortunate, but you will have to mitigate that risk somehow. That is, if you're serious about studies in Poland, from July 1st, if you apply, you will be only able to apply for a visa after September 1st if you are going for bachelor's and for master's. Yes, I'm saying it now, for master's as well. We will quickly discuss this at a later stage, or maybe in really in depth we will discuss this. For masters as well, once again, for masters as well, that is if you have your bachelor's degree and you're applying for a master's, you will need this recognition from NAWA's Syrena system if you are applying for master's degree studies. Once again, if you are applying for master's degree studies, you need this recognition unless certain exceptions are there. We'll cover them once we get to that section as well. This is for bachelor's. Undergraduate studies. This studies is basically a bachelor studies, BACHELOR, bachelor studies. So if you are from high school, you will have to take some kind of examination from July 1st. No matter what university you apply to, every university will have its own entry examination. And then the visa requirements are generally also changing. The university is kind enough that they actually mention in this email all the other information. Let's quickly go back here, working doc. Okay, so yes, if you complete your application before the changes take effect, exactly. So you complete the admission process. They're giving you a realistic deadline. So you have to pay your tuition fee already on the 19 or 20 because it takes a couple of days to go through. If you're watching from India, this applies to you. So please watch this or pay attention rather. Receive your admission decision in the system. Yes, yes, yes. This is yeah, this is something very specific to the university, so I'm not going to speak about this even. This is to do with the recognition of your bachelor's diploma or nostrification as it's called. If you apply after the deadline, then you have to take an entrance exam. Then you have to provide an English language certificate according to the new list, the new list being this. I have described it to you. And then you have to apply for this for the Syrena system. Yes, the main changes, yes, minimum B2 level, as I've already told you for IELTS, it's 6.5 for TOEFL, it's at least a 72 for Pearson. I'm not sure for Cambridge. There is the B2 exam, which is Cambridge first, but there's also the Cambridge exams, advanced exam. I also recommend that one. Yeah, this is also, guys, like, please don't take the Duolingo test. It's not official. These are official sources: Pearson, Cambridge, IELTS, and TOEFL. Polish Matura, this is not applicable to you. First cycle studies, this is bachelor degrees. So I'm going to write it down here as well. Bachelor, bachelor candidates. That is after high school. You need to take an exam if your documents are issued outside the EU, OECD, EFTA, or if you don't hold an IB, EB diploma. That is, if you have either one of the following, then you don't need to take an exam. If you don't have one of the following, then you need to take this exam. Exam, yes, this is about the exam. Okay, this is something specific to the university. You can read this about yourself. Okay, the recognition statement. Recognition, it used to be, I'll write it down, used to be nostrification, now required for masters as well. Yes, now it is required for masters as well. From July 1st, they secondary school certificates, this is for bachelor candidates, by BACHELOR bachelor candidates, they must be recognized through Syrena system. Once again, like if you go to my channel and then you search, let's say nostrification, Christmas nostrification, yes, this is going to be invalid from July 1st. Notification invalid from July 1st, invalid from July 1st. Okay, so bear in mind that this is all new information and this Syrena system will be responsible for the recognition. If it has been issued or the process was initiated, as I told you, this remains valid and does not need to be repeated. It's mandatory from with documents. First cycle degree candidates, yes. Apart from these, they must be certificate. Okay. According to NAWA, applications can only be submitted from July 1st. Yes, yes, yes. There is information about this. Operates online, so you don't need to do anything. It's completely free of charge. You don't need to translate anything unless your documents are not in English. The university will have a temporary. This is like something specific, their own internal solution. So I'm not gonna read this out. Okay, so you need to show this for the visa. You need to have this apostille. Again, for apostille, I tell you this. In India, there's two ways to do an apostille. There is an apostille via the SDM signature. That one is no longer valid. You need to do the right kind of apostille, this apostille. So please watch this video. You need to do it through a RAC, not through the STM. If you do it through the STM, it's going to be invalid. This is the information that you will get here. This is about the English language test, and then there's delays and stuff. So once again, to sum up, right now there was no information for this for masters, but we'll get to that in a second. You need to take an English language test, number one. Number two is you need to do this through the NAWA Syrena system, recognition of high school certificates, which is called nostrification popularly. Entry requirements, there will be exams from July 1st for every course for bachelor's degrees in all the universities. And then visa requirements as highlighted, the same thing as above. Okay, so this update is from the University of Warsaw Politechnika Wrocławska. According to the new law, admission, final acceptance letter will require the following conditions: recognition of statement, foreign diploma. The process may take 60 days. Strongly recommend that you already submit the information. So this is already like a slightly conflicting information because the University of Wrocław, one source said that the system will only accept applications from the 1st of July. And they say here from Politechnika Warszawska, the Warsaw University of Science and Technology, that you should already apply. So this is a little bit misleading. And then there is also this requirement does not apply to candidates whose bachelor's degree diplomas were issued by the EU, OECD, EFTA. Now, this could be a typo, but I'm saying it is not. I'm telling you that for master's degree students, the bachelor's degree students, sorry, the people who have a bachelor's degree, when they're applying for a course for master's, once again, I repeat, they will need to do this recognition of their diploma unless their diploma was issued by EU, OECD, EFTA members. Here is the entire list. India is not in this list, as you can see. It does not apply to Chinese and Ukrainian citizens as well. So this is strictly for master's degree students. We can also go to the link. Here we have the link, Control F. Let's see 4th. Let's see April. Yes, important update. According to the new law, 4th April, here, once again, admission to university, final acceptance letter will require candidates to fulfill the following condition. This is the following condition. This was also in the email. I am again telling you this. If you are applying for master's degree studies as well, this is the source from Warsaw University of Technology. This is for admission to MSc. That is that if you have a bachelor's degree, you still need to have this recognition from NAWA's Syrena system. Okay, so these are the two sources that I've already told you about. So let's go to the Syrena system. Let's see what information we have. Just a second. NAWA's, let's just go to NAWA. NAWA is this. Then here we go to English. Yes, is it English now? No, it's not. Okay, now it is. Apostille and legalization documents certified by NAWA. Let's read about this first before we do this. Okay. NAWA certifies documents issued by Polish higher education institutions only. Okay, this is changed. So this information is not for us. Let's see, what about this other information? Recognition statement. Let's see on their website. Recognition, sorry, yeah, I clicked the next thing. This is for Polish people. If they need apostille, they go to NAWA to get the apostille. For us, we are looking for recognition. Okay, so they say they have been doing this since 2018. Now new changes have been introduced based on this document. So let's have a look. Contact details. Here we have the email as well. Phone duty from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Once again, I tell you this, they have been issued quite a decent sum of money. And for the first year, it's going to be 6 million zlotys, starting from the year 2025. 1st of July. So this is applicable only for the first half of the year. So I recommend, yes, call them. I recommend, yes, email them in order to be able to get information. Because if you don't, then you're missing out on good information. So let's see. Recognition for academic purposes. First, long cycle studies, second cycle studies, and then for third cycle, like doctoral studies as well. So this is the information. So first cycle studies and uniform. This uniform magister studies is for masters. For example, if you study medicine or if you study psychology, then you study bachelor's and masters in a whole complete 5 or 6 year long programs. That is that is what it is about. So admission to first cycle studies and long cycle. Yes, let's go to this website. This website will probably tell us about curatorium. Yes, curatorium. Yes, there we go. So this website takes us to the information. But starting from the 1st of July, they will no longer be in effect. Once again, if you want to refer to this document, this information here from the University of Wrocław, in that particular document, I will maybe find it later. I'll put it as a cut. Kuratorium oświaty notification, they were doing it, but they are no longer doing it. So it will also go through the Syrena system. Now let's look at second cycle studies. In the country of issue, it gives you right to individual statement. This will be through, yes, there you go. So you can use the qualificator as well. So I will show you how this works. Probably it's not going to be applicable for India. So here we are. We got our document in India. And then here we have some pre-agreed documents. So let's have a look. First, change the language so it's easier for you. Let's see. Okay, Bachelor's of Computer Science. So this is already registered, and this is registered for, okay, Forbidden Gateway. This is Nostrification Institutes. Let's see, maybe we can, no, we cannot. Colleges, no, we cannot. World Higher Education Database, India, HIE Advanced. You have to create an account. So basically, the idea is if your university or college is visible in this place and you have a minimum of 55 percentage, then you don't need to apply for it individually. You can just download this PDF and you can be like, okay, this is my recognition and here it is. But that is if and if and if you're able to check this. Once again, I'll tell you, this is Bachelors of Art. There's another type of bachelors, another type of bachelors owners. Let's have a look at this. Maybe here we can check. Now we cannot check. HEI is consolidated lists of your universities. Again, so if you're applying for the master's program, what you need to do is shortlist your university and tell NAWA that, hey there, hello, good morning. I hope this email finds you well. I would like to contact you. Yes, just send them an email at this email saying that this attached PDF is a copy of my diploma from bachelor's that I got in India, and I need to know if it's pre-approved or do I need to submit it for recognition individually. Yes, if it's pre-approved, amazing, excellent, extraordinary. If it's not pre-approved, then you will need to go here, which is the Syrena system, and then you will have to start applying for your diploma hardware, who is the applicant, and so on. In this particular video, I'm not exploring this is because the general idea is to give you an information about what things are changing. Apart from this, there is a bunch of new information as well. Like there will be a list of all students. Maybe I'll circle back and I'll go back to the newsletter. So another problem with this was with the data sharing. So for example, I am a student. I go to the university. Maybe let's take X. X is a student. X goes to the university. X starts studying, but X finds a job and then he stops studying and he's kicked out of the university because of non-attendance or whatever. And once that happens, the border guard has no means to find out whether or not X is at the university or not, because the university is expected but not obliged, to inform the border guard about this. Starting July 1st, what is going to happen is there's going to be a list of all the students at universities in this list. And if, or when rather, there is the case that a student is removed from the university, then the information will go directly to the border guard. There is an obligation to the universities. And It will also be accessed by the Minister of External Affairs of Poland, Mr. Sikorski, I believe. So the data will be shared across places so that it's easy to find out who these students are and where exactly they're going. Because right now there is no such rule in place, and it's very hard to say where this 63% of students are or what are they doing. So to sum up, things are changing. As soon as I learned about this information, I decided to make this video. Um, I hope it wasn't very chaotic. I will also quickly check about. I said what I wanted to say. So yes, I did say this. Yes, key amendments. Yes, yes. Yes, okay. So I talked about everything that I wanted to talk about. What is NAWA? What is Syrena? Why is this change happening? Why now all of a sudden? Again, it's not all of a sudden. It's been in the plan since the last year, ever since the minister, one of the ministers was fired for allegedly taking bribes in exchange for visas. There was an episode like that. I think it was almost 2 years ago now, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it was 2 years ago. And then last year they wanted to change the rules, and now they're finally changing. And this is a good thing. However, if you are applying for master's degree studies, you need to contact NAVA and you need to understand whether or not you need to do this uh, individual recognition. Because if you do need the individual recognition, then it's going to take 60 days based on NAVA's estimates. If you're applying for a bachelor degree studies, that is, if you're applying after high school, please be quick. If you're watching this video before July 1st, please be very quick and try and finish everything before July 1st so that you have your notification in place and you have your visa, you have your university's admission secured, that is, you have paid the tuition fee, and you have an MOI certificate, that is medium of instruction. Because after July 1st, this medium of instruction certificate is no longer going to be acceptable. You will need to take at least one of the four exams that I've outlined. Once again, IELTS, TOEFL, Cambridge Advanced, or Pearson, the English test. Okay, at least at a B2 level. I've explained in detail. And then you would have to submit your application here to NAVA for individual recognition. Unfortunately, in their qualificator pre-approved things, the diplomas from India are not there, so you'll have to wait at least 60 days. And the only good news is for PhD scholars, because one of the pieces of information in this long legal text, legal framework, legal act, was that they are prioritizing visas for PhD scholars, doctoral students. So they are going to be in luck. And yeah, I wish everyone the best. I hope this was informative, and I hope that if you have any questions, you will comment down below. And yeah, do like and share this with anyone you know who is planning to study in Poland so that the information reaches them. I will create a more specific, a rather more concise video in this week. But for now, this is all the information. This is the act. You can read it yourself. It's quite, I mean, it is in Polish, but you just have to right click and then translate to English, and this works quite well. It's better if you have some knowledge of the law. If not, well, you can still read. It's English. So thank you very much, and see you soon.